Well, then we're going to go straight for Job in Los Angeles. That's on line 1. Can you hear me?
Yes, hello?
Hello. Is this Job?
Joe, yes.
Oh, just Joe. The call screener got it wrong. Why have you forsaken me, call screener? How's it going, Joe?
Good, good. And you?
Yeah, what's up? You're on the air.
Yeah, I'm just calling because my atheist friend told me to call.
Oh, okay. Thanks, atheist friend.
Yeah, his name's Tom. I'd like to give a shout out to Tom.
Hey, Tom. So what's up?
Yeah, I'm just calling. I seen your guys' show. I was interested in calling and seeing if I could learn a thing or two, or maybe you could learn a thing too. But, you know, I want to talk about how I like to accept science and God. I mean, I know science is like the ultimate truth. You know, data is knowledge.
I don't think even scientists would characterize it that way. I think actually science is a process of investigating and discovering what's really going on in the world.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, but anyway, I mean, I'm not sure any of us would want to throw around terms like ultimate truth when it comes to science.
Yeah. Well, I believe that you can have God in your life as well as accepting science as a part of life.
Well, you can have God in your life, but why would you?
Well, it really gives you hope and keep on going, because a lot of people think that there's no God, then there's no hope in this world.
Is that what you think?
Excuse me?
Do you think that?
No, but I haven't heard a lot of people say that. I've even seen this movie called God Is Not Dead, and in the movie they say that in the end, how if there's no God, there's no hope, right? Well,
no hope of
I'm
what?
not saying that's entirely right, but...
Well,
yeah,
no hope of what? If there's no God, there's no hope of what?
People, some people would think that there's no hope in the afterlife, that they would go insane in this life and not caring and doing whatever they want.
Do you think that?
Without... No.
Well, let's talk about
let's
talk about what you believe instead of talking about what other people believe.
Yeah,
because they're
you
not
understand
here to talk about their
you
beliefs.
understand that God's not dead is Christian propaganda,
Well,
and
but more to the point, you're saying that you accept both God and science, and Russell was asking why would you accept God, and then you moved to other people's beliefs.
Well, why would I accept God? Because I had never doubted God in my life, and God has shown me that He's there through the bad and good, mostly bad. But you know, I've seen met many people in my life, and a lot of them that don't believe in God have something in common.
Can you explain how God has shown you that He's there?
Yeah, just every person I meet, I learn something new from them, and I believe that God puts these people in my life for a reason.
But why do you believe that God has put those people there? Like, where has God shown
learn,
you?
Of course. In fact, I know more people that don't believe than they do. And
well, wait a minute. What I'm talking about, how has God shown you that He's there in your life? And you said you've met people who have taught you things, but that's not really God demonstrating Himself to you.
Okay. Listen, God. It is said in the Bible, God gives us free will to do whatever we want, right?
I guess it does, but we don't
no.
actually believe that what it says in the Bible is accurate.
Different things regarding that, but go ahead. You accept that, so
I know that you take things in the Bible too literally. Obviously, when it talks about how Jesus said He came to bring the sword and not peace,
yes, it says that in the book.
To argue about His coming.
Okay.
He knew that the people were going to be arguing till this day that, you know, about even if Jesus existed or not and whatnot.
Okay. So how has God demonstrated that He's there in your life?
Oh, many ways.
Okay. Can we talk about some of the
What's your
more
favorite?
impressive ways that might be convincing? I mean, it
Yes.
convinced you, so what convinced you? What are these demonstrations that you think are convincing that it's God?
Because, okay, first of all, I was born and raised Catholic, and now, I've been realized that the Catholic Church is really corrupted.
Okay.
And every time I would go to Catholic Church, I would never pay attention, but eventually I met Christian people, and they opened my eyes a lot, and they explained things to me a lot better than any Catholic Church people would do. And then I been through some stuff in my life. Some things I actually wouldn't want to talk about right now because it's really, really sensitive, but
Okay.
let's just say,
Okay,
You okay,
let
man?
me just
there's
say
a lot
that.
of-
Well, I mean, first of all, I respect that there's things in your life that are private and personal, and even calling a show like this where you can give any name and no one should know who you are. But the point is, you have these things that you don't feel comfortable talking about on the air, and we respect that, first of all. But you're going to have to understand our situation here where we like when theists call. So first of all, we're glad you called. But the reason that we like when theists call is because we like to discuss with them what they believe and why they believe it. And so you've explained that you've believed in God all your life and you haven't really doubted it, and you feel like God has demonstrated himself to you in your life. The problem that we're running into here is that some of these ways that it sounds like to you are most compelling are also ways that you feel least confident speaking about, like in a public format, even anonymously. So that kind of causes a bit of a difficulty in discussing with you what you believe and why you believe it. Can you understand what I'm saying?
Of course I do.
Okay.
How about I give you an example of many of the people I met, like one of the types of people I met, they are waiting for a sign from God, and that you shouldn't be waiting for that. It doesn't happen like that.
So how does it happen?
God wants to come to him.
How does it happen then? How does God manifest himself in your life in a way that convinces you that
If
this?
you open your heart, then that happens. But some people are waiting for.
In
God to
what
come
way
to their
does it
life.
happen that I could, okay, so, there are people in the world who believe in conflicting views of God, right? Like there are Muslims, for instance. You're not a Muslim, right?
Excuse me?
You're not a Muslim, right?
No, of course not.
So Muslims believe very specific things about God, and we've talked to a lot of Muslims.
You have to understand that I am against religion itself.
Okay,
Religion is
but
made.
but I mean,
Man-made.
you still
Religion is
believe
made
in.
for people to argue against each other, obviously.
Okay, but
And
you
it's
believe
bad.
that there's a God, and you believe that He's revealed Himself to you directly in some way, right?
I think I believe that everyone is born knowing that there is a greater.
Okay, so
thing.
let's still talk about Muslims, because you don't like religions in general, including
I don't.
Islam. But a lot of Muslims, I mean, we have talked to them, and
Yes.
some of them have told us very similar things that like basically, you have to open up and be willing to accept Allah and understand Him. And I would think that if you heard all the things that they believe about Allah, you would reject them, right?
Yes.
So I think maybe with that in mind, you can probably understand where we're coming from, where we're just saying, you just have to believe me, and then you'll understand how right I am, and you
No, I
can
know
maybe
that
see
you-
why we aren't
I know that
doing
you
that.
only believe what you either see or find out through.
No, that's not true.
The scientific progress. Okay, then.
That's
how do
not
you believe
necessarily true, but I
How are
mean,
you
wouldn't you
convinced of
agree that it's not a good idea to just believe what people tell you?
No, of course not. I'm humble, but I'm not gullible.
Okay,
And I know God is real as a fact.
right.
Okay, and
Right.
What?
No, I don't
Wait,
think that's
I'm sorry,
right.
I didn't hear the last
He said,
thing.
I know God is real as a
No,
fact.
no.
I want to just point out one thing really quickly because it went under the radar. Russell, you were not raised in a religious home
No.
with a religious upbringing. At what point did you stop believing in God?
At no point. I never started believing in God.
Okay, I want to make sure that Joe is clear on that because Joe, you made a comment that everyone, is born with this belief in something greater or whatever, and Russell did not have a belief in God. He wasn't indoctrinated as a child. I was indoctrinated as a child, and later in life.
That's fine. The Catholic Church baptizes babies, and that has no meaning to it because God wants you to come to Him when you're ready and full-heartedly.
So you don't think that people are born inherently knowing about God?
They are taught.
Okay, I'll
Yeah,
accept that.
all right.
People are taught about God.
Me, I have never had an ounce of doubt in me. Never. Even
Right.
though the Catholic Church has not shown me anything. I was raised Catholic again.
Okay.
And now I see that they're extremely corrupted. And
Okay, so at
they kind
least
of-
some of the things that the Catholic Church taught you turned out to be wrong, and you accept
didn't
that
I didn't pay
now.
attention when I was in their church, and when I went, my Christians my age and older, I pay attention, and it just came to me like, this is truth.
But some of it wasn't truth, right?
Everything the Bible said has come to truth so far.
Really? I don't think
Yes.
so.
Yes.
The flood.
Okay, I'm not saying that
The
there was going to
well, let's talk about Noah's flood. Do you believe that actually happened?
I believe there was a huge flood that wiped out most of the
But a
earth.
worldwide flood that covered all the mountains on Earth?
Do you believe that?
No.
No, absolutely not. I think it's nonsense.
There is no
but
evidence to support
you're
such a
saying that
thing.
it's impossible that a flood will cover all of Earth?
No, I'm saying
Even
all
though
the
all of
evidence
Earth
we
is
see
mostly
does
covered in
not
water.
support that it did.
Where would all the water come
What?
from?
Where would all the water
water
come from?
the
I
sky.
mean, yeah.
Come from a lot of places.
Well, I mean, it
Most
would
of
come
our Earth
from
is covered in
magic
water.
when
How
you're
could there be
talking about
more
God. But you're saying that all the Bible, that everything the Bible said was true, and some of the
Most
things
of the
that the
Bible
Bible
has
says
truth
are in
and-
direct contradiction to what we
science. Well,
understand
and to
through
science. Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
Yeah.
I know that the Bible contradicts itself, and the
Okay,
reason
so-
I believe that it does is because another test from God.
So
having-
it's a test that you should believe stuff that's not really true?
and that it contradicts itself, and
First
that's
of
a
all, most
test
of
from
the stuff
God.
is true, and you can't say it's not.
Yeah, I can.
Jesus
Watch me.
has said that these things will happen, and it's happening right now,
Such as?
such as the legalization of gay marriage.
Where does it say that in the Bible?
No, it doesn't say that, but it's a sign
Okay,
of-
so what
okay,
does
it
that
says
have to do with what you said?
a man and a man or a woman. It doesn't say anything about a woman being with a woman, right? But it says a man being with a man is an abomination.
Okay,
What does
well,
that have
is
to do
one
with-
of many ways in which the Bible now conflicts with our modern understanding of ethics.
Okay,
So it's not that good a moral guide either.
okay, look, I'm not against gay marriage or anything, and they can do whatever they want.
Okay.
I don't care, but you
Well, the
gotta
Bible
admit-
is. The Bible says
It
that
is
people who commit
unsanitary
that sin
for-
should be
But
stoned
how
to
does the
death.
fact that gay
man.
marriage exists
Simply
have anything to do
because
with
the way
validating
they-
the Bible?
I don't know.
I'm having trouble following this conversation. I'm still wondering, like, in what way has God manifested to you? Like, that's what I can't understand. Even if you had a book like the Bible and there was all this true stuff, how is that a demonstration of a God?
Oh, because of all the things that are happening, it's considered sinful to be homosexual, and
Well, how does that prove there's a God?
because it doesn't exactly prove it, but it's a sign that
How is it a sign of anything that
Yeah, it's-
2,000 years ago there was a tribe in the desert that thought
Disapproved
homosexuality
of
was
it.
a problem? I mean, how is that an evidence for a God?
it really isn't evidence, it's a sign.
It's not even a
No, it's
sign.
not.
I can quote any kind of morality from any ancient civilization, and that's not a demonstration of
I
a
mean,
God.
I can quote Alice in Wonderland and say that that's a sign of, that whatever the Queen of Hearts says.
But I mean, there's all kinds of different moral traditions.
I
Social.
live in Wonderland. The guy on it was on acid, but he saw some things, and his
What?
mind came to life.
So some guy was on acid and saw some things. Is this a
No,
real call?
but
I think it is.
Okay.
But I don't know how much longer I want to stick with it.
I just feel like we're not really making any headway here, that I'm not really understanding. The conversation is very disjointed and difficult to follow. It seems like it's hopping all over the place, and I'm not understanding things
Well, I
that you
mean,
seem
it feels like we're all over the place
tell you
because we
something.
keep saying, what do you see as ways that God has demonstrated himself to you? And then you present an example, and then we say, how does that answer what we said? And you say it doesn't. So, I mean,
Where are we going
that's
with
why
this?
we think that we're not getting anywhere here.
okay, well, how about you ask me a question and I'll answer it? No,
Okay.
how about
Well,
that?
we did.
What
do you believe in? Why
has
do you,
God presented that made you think that a God exists?
Well, I know God exists for many reasons.
Why?
for many reasons, give us
Okay.
some compelling ones that don't violate your privacy.
Okay. How about the fact that people in Africa are getting possessed left and right?
What?
And
No, we don't
things-
believe that.
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay, I know missionaries that have been to Africa and seen them themselves.
Missionaries have
How
definitely
would
been to
you,
Africa.
How would you
It
know
happens
that a
everywhere,
person
but
was
in
possessed?
Africa, they're really sensitive to those things.
They're really
Okay.
believing of those things, and they actually lack a lot of education. And I mean, there were people that believed
yeah,
in
of
those
course,
things
they're
in
really-
our own society until we learned about things like psychiatry and mental health, and then we saw less and less demon possession.
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it, that all the demon possession seems to happen over there where they have less education and less skepticism, and you hardly see any verified examples of demon possession over here where people have like cameras and stuff that could presumably take pictures of the demons.
Well, and part of my degree was in anthropology, and I remember hearing like field studies where they actually described these possessions. And then when we got to see the videos of the possessions, it was really interesting how really unimpressive the video was. The descriptions are sometimes a little more impressive than what you actually see.
Okay.
And I personally am not convinced that demon
So
possession
you're
is a
saying
real
because they
phenomenon.
are not as they're just dumb.
I didn't say anybody was
they're just
dumb. I'm
dumb.
saying that even anthropologists describe these events in ways that are a bit more grand than when you actually get to see it on video and you're not sitting in the room. When
Okay.
you're not there, it's a little less impressive. There's a whole lot about the atmosphere that is impressive to people that might make that. Like, for example, in one of the particular videos, there was a description of levitation. When I think of levitation, I think of like The Exorcist, where the girl comes completely off the bed. But when I saw the video, it was just a contortion. The person never left the ground. So I wouldn't really call that a levitation.
Don't
and yet
they like
field
flex their knees and hop a
it
little
had
bit
to,
or
it was
something
like
like
the
that?
back of the head and the heels
Yeah.
of the feet. So it was quite a contortion, but
Okay,
it was
so-
not a levitation.
Okay, you've seen the Exorcist movie. Do you know what happened during the making of that movie?
Urban legend ahead. Yes. What?
Urban legend that
Tell us about
people
it.
dying? No, that's not urban legend. People did die.
No,
Well, people
do
died
die
in the making
real
of
life.
like other films too, but I mean, I don't even know that like it wouldn't even matter if people died in the making of a film. That doesn't demonstrate demons.
No, but the way
Did
they
you know
died-
that the actor who played Jesus in Passion of the Christ got struck by lightning on set? Was
Okay.
that God being a critic?
No, of course not. That's just coincidence.
Oh, that's just
Oh,
coincidence.
that's coincidence. But when somebody dies
In the making of a film,
in the
that's
filming of a different
a
movie,
demonstration of possession.
that's God somehow.
Okay, did he die outside? Get struck by lightning outside?
Yes.
Probably.
Was there any any electric metal poles around him?
Does it matter? People used to believe that every lightning strike was thrown on purpose by one of the many gods they believed in. They don't believe it now,
Okay.
but a lot of evangelicals do say that God is acting directly to punish people.
No,
Yes, they
that's
do.
not true.
How would we know it wasn't true?
It says in the Bible, God gives us free will to do what we want.
Well,
So,
God. But
meaning
what
that-
about? Do you remember the story of Jonah?
No, I don't, actually.
Jonah was
The story of Jonah? That's
swallowed
like
by
one of
a
the little
big
golden
fish.
book
Sorry,
stories.
Jonah? Yeah, I thought you said something else, sorry.
Yeah, so did Jonah have free will?
Well, she didn't act, she gave her life, or he gave his life to God, and when you do that, you let God take over your life and let him.
But when Jonah decided he didn't want to do what God wanted him to do, did God say, that's cool, you've got free will?
No, but it says in the Bible we do.
Oh, but then
So
the Bible also says that Jonah was pretty much coerced into doing what God wanted, that God wasn't going to take no for
Okay,
an
look,
answer.
God gave us free will to do what we want.
Except for
simply because He
Jonah.
wants us to go to Him on our own terms
And
wholeheartedly.
if we don't, he'll send a whale or
That's
a
the
big
way He
great
knows that
fish.
we're
Excuse
honest
me.
about it.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually another really good example of the Bible saying one thing and then the Bible saying another completely opposite thing. It's really the big book of multiple choice.
Well, let me ask a question that might help us here. What is the difference between a world in which a God exists and a world in which a God does not exist, that's like a natural world?
Okay, well, obviously for you guys, this world God doesn't exist. But for me, it does.
Okay, and what would be the difference? If there was no God, how would the world be different than the world that you inhabit right now?
Okay, I'm going back to what I said before. Some people would consider that as there being no hope for this world, and
But,
maybe they
I
will
mean,
go into chaos.
Okay. No, what
You
I'm
said you don't actually believe that, though. You just said other
Right,
people
but my
think
point's
that.
getting lost. I'm
Okay,
trying to
yeah,
figure out
other
how the
people
world would
obviously-
actually look different. Not like what I'm saying is, like for example, the people that came and talked to you that you said were sent by God. If people came and talked to you that weren't sent by God, how would that look different?
I've actually met many people that are atheists, and they want something to believe in. Most of them, they really do.
Joe, it's nice talking to you, but I think we're ready to move on to another caller.
We do appreciate your call, though.
Thanks for calling.
Thank
Okay,
you.
God bless you.
Okay. Thank you for saying a thing.